speaking of changes, we've got one coming here at James River Media. And while it may not necessarily directly impact you or your lives, it will impact the life greatly of someone that you may be fond of. He's got a bunch of different nicknames. Anthony, he went by Tony for a while. Most of you know and love him as the Biscuit, although Cookie's catching on and gaining momentum. Here he is, Anthony McAvoy. What the hell are you doing here?
Well, you invited me.
It's going to be one of those shows, I can tell. Anthony's here, of course. You probably know him as Biscuit from the Morningline. And, it's funny. It was, about a week ago that I had an interesting interaction with one of our listeners off-site, just kind of doing my own thing, ran into them, and they came up to me, and I knew they were a listener and, a local business person. And they started talking to me about Cookie this and tell me about Cookie. And, finally I had to look at them and go, I'm sorry, what the hell are you talking about, Cookie? And they go, on the Morningline with Mary and Brian. And I'm like, you mean Biscuit? Oh, yeah, Biscuit. And I'm just thinking to myself, Cookie's so much more appropriate. I like that so much better.
And, you've then decided to tell everyone else that you've come in contact with since that happened.
Well, I've just shared the story because it was funny. And that wasn't the end of the story. I'll get to it in just a second. But is Cookie starting to stick a little bit? Or
because now once you tell that story, then it's immediately that person saying, oh, Cookie. And I think I've come to a decision. And this is pretty maybe not groundbreaking, but it's a big decision. It's I guess big announcement. And I think I'm going to have to go trans flower.
Yeah. So you're transitioning
I'm transitioning from a biscuit to a cookie.
Well, a lot of people prefer cookies to biscuits.
I hope so. And I know this is going to be jarring for everyone. It's going to take a lot of getting used to, but it took a lot of soul searching. Once I heard it, it just was one of those things deep down that was like something that had kind of, I think, been shouting out for maybe my entire life, and I didn't know it until it started happening. But yeah, I'm Biscuit no longer. The tramp stamp, which probably should have been everybody's kind of giveaway that, he was maybe a little crazy or had something going on deep down. I'm going to have to change that. So, yeah.
Well, that's the easy one, though, right? To go from Biscuit to Cookie is kind of the easy one, but that's not really why we're here. It's fun.
Yeah.
But it's not really why we're here, because the end of that story was after I set the person straight and said, it's not Cookie, it's Biscuit, although now we know that it's going to be Cookie moving forward, I guess. And again, for many people, that's probably preferable.
Probably.
I know I like biscuits, but I really like cookies.
And that's what I'm going for.
But the rest of the story and where the fun part of Biscuit and Cookie really gets to the more serious heart of the matter here. Because the other thing that I was asked after I straightened that individual out, who I will continue to protect his or her anonymity. But that person asked me, he goes, I've got to ask, guy or girl?
Yeah.
Right? And I know I've gotten that about you a number of times. People hear you, they don't see you necessarily. Yes. And, so over the years, as long as you've been here, people have been asking, are you a guy? Are you a girl?
It happens all the time, when I answer the phone, whether it's for the Morningline, even the show that I'm on. It happens when I answer the whole office phone. But it's happened. It's happened my entire life.
Do you get it at drive-thrus? Like they call you ma'am?
Every time. Yeah. I called someone the other day and it was, yes, ma'am, we'll do that right now. And I was like, all right, perfect. Well, my name's Anthony. So, yeah, cool. So I just kind of figured that maybe to make it easier on everyone. And after a deep, long reflection on my life, I'll be a woman.
You're going to transition.
I'll transition.
You know, I've got to be perfectly honest with you. Mm-hmm. And you know I'm a straight shooter.
You're a straight shooter, and that's what I appreciate about you.
I don't think this decision surprises a lot of people.
Yeah, I think that's true. But I think in the long run, that may make it easier on them.
Oh, I think it'll make it a lot easier on them. But, you know, when you dig a little deeper to the heart of the issue, you know, I mean, I think of the fact that you're a big sports fan.
Yep.
But we're never a great athlete.
No. You're never a church league all-star.
You're a massively huge fan of women's sports.
Yeah.
And now the opportunity to transition and actually play the sports that you love so much, softball and women's basketball.
I see them and I see the person that I always wanted to be. And now in 2026, I have the opportunity to do that and be that person.
So what sport are you going to start with?
I don't know. It's a World Cup year, maybe soccer.
I mean, you can go back. I'm sure you have eligibility left.
Oh, I didn't use any of my eligibility. I've got all 4 years.
I bet you do.
Maybe a 6th year if I get injured.
So what sport? Where are you starting?
You know, again, soccer would be fun. It's a World Cup year. Maybe a lot more eyes on the game.
Well, I mean, clearly you're not going to start at the World Cup level.
No. But it's more maybe that's what people will be paying attention to a little bit more.
Okay.
Of course, basketball, you know, we'll see.
I mean, in all seriousness, you are a big women's sports fan.
Yeah, love women's sports.
How does your mom feel about this?
You know, it was tough. But she's very accepting. Very accepting.
I would think she actually probably prefers this.
A little bit.
I mean, we hear all the time about, you know, dads and their sons going on trips and, you know, mother-daughter trips. But you don't hear a lot of mother-son trips. And you do that, right? I mean,
I do that. And, you know, the funny thing, Rich, is apparently before I was even born, they thought I was a girl. And so, you know, then I came out and I wasn't. So there was probably a little bit of a disappointment there. So maybe to kind of make up for the, you know, 27 years of just minor inconvenience of being a man, I can kind of pay it forward.
What name are you going to go with?
Maybe Tony. I hated it when I was a man.
Tony with an I.
Tony with an I.
Yeah.
Just strictly listen to like Tony Braxton and stuff like that.
So we talked about women's sports. We talked about, you know, the trips and vacations that you go on with your mom. And people here have already seen you in a dress. How did that feel when you did it? Was that the first time you'd ever dressed up like a woman?
It's the first time.
It is. Not the last, though.
Definitely not the last. But it's kind of what started the ball rolling forward for me. It was, you know, I put it on and it was the freedom that I had never had before.
Describe that feeling.
You know, since it was a dress and I didn't have to wear pants, it was the first time I'd been out in public with no pants. And I think that we should do that more often.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, you'll be able to now.
I'll be able to do it all the time.
Are you going to be wearing lots of dresses
all the time.
And skirts?
I think only that.
So what's the next step in your transitioning procedure?
Well, I'm lobbying the company to pay for the whole thing. Figure we can either get good content out of it or, you know, health insurance, I guess. But yeah, so we'll sit down with the doctors. We'll figure out the next steps. You know, hormones, everything like that. It's very early in the process. Very early.
You haven't started that yet?
No, not yet. The beard's staying, by the way.
That's going to be...
We're gonna keep the beard.
So the circus is where you're headed next.
Well, yeah. If this doesn't work out, I've got Carney written all over me.
Yeah. I think that could be a great fit for you.
Yeah, I think so.
Tony with an I.
Tony with an I.
Interesting.
And Cookie. You can also call me Cookie, too.
And you're old enough to make your own choices.
Exactly.
And your mom's on board with it.
Enough.
The daughter she always wanted.
That's
sweet. That's sweet. Well, congratulations on your decision.
Thank you.
I hope things go really well.
You and me both.
Well, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, used to be Anthony, soon to be Tony. Biscuit, Cookie. You're a mess, man.
Thank you.
You're going to transition to a woman.
Yeah. Okay. If you want.
Did you get a little tingling where your lady parts are going to be?
Yeah, a little bit. We need hard-hitting stuff on this show.
Things aren't going to be hard for very long.